getting answers. From Sacramento's most watched late news. This is the CBS 13 News at 10.
2 suspected sex sites have been shut down by the FBI, and one of the alleged masterminds lived in our region. The feds say that prostitutes and pimps used these sites for years to sell sex. Good evening, I'm Sam Shane.
And I'm Shannon Bertia. CBS 13's Maria Medina is live in the social media center with how the site fueled the illegal sex industry here in our area.
Well, guys, last year we investigated myredbook.com, and this is what it now looks like after the FBI has shut it down. At the time, we had no idea that one of the suspects behind the site was living right here in our own backyard.
First thing I do when I get here, I go on the computer and I put my ad on.
During a CBS 13 investigation last year, we spoke to this woman who claimed she was a masseuse who advertised her sex services openly on the internet, including on myredbook.com.
That's the only way I get my clients.
But on Wednesday, the FBI seized the domains of the San Francisco-based site as well as SF Redbook and slapped the owners with a slew of charges, accusing them of using the sites to promote prostitution.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
One of the suspects, Anne-Marie Lanos, lived in Rockland, her last address here at this apartment, where no one answered.
She would sit out there all the time and chain smoke, and a lot of kids would come up to her too and like say hi.
I live right here, like we share a wall.
Her next-door neighbor says she never suspected anything illegal was going on.
I never would have thought anything like that, but yeah, that's a little scary.
In the Bay Area, a much more dramatic scene as federal agents raided 2 locations, seizing several boxes of evidence, and arrested a high-tech entrepreneur named Erica Morrow, also accused of running the site.
We saw the FBI vans out here this morning in the big ruckus, and we thought something's going on with Eric. Never thought something like this.
A site that investigators say was a place to shop for sex now shut down, and some looking back on their conversations with the suspect.
One of the times when I was like walking my dog around, she asked me if I wanted to come inside one time, and I was like, no, I don't want to.
And investigators told our sister station that they actually found massage parlors using the site to sell child prostitution. And recently they rescued 6 Bay Area children in one operation. So guys, this is huge to shut down myredbook.com.
Many ramifications. Okay, thank you, Maria. New tonight, pizza delivery drivers in Stockton may be driving into a trap. Last night, 2 different pizza delivery drivers were robbed at gunpoint in the Lakeview district. The first robbery happened before 7 at an apartment complex on Terrell Lane. The second robbery was at 10:30, less than a mile away on Pershing Avenue. Police are looking into who made the calls for pizza.
It doesn't appear that anybody got their pizzas. Okay. It appears that as soon as the pizza delivery driver arrived at the locations, that's when they were robbed.
Police say the suspects are 2 men, but they're not saying if the crimes are connected. Sam?
The Sacramento Kings revealed new details today on when they will begin construction on the new downtown arena. The Kings say they expect to begin demolition in late July. CBS 13 Steve Large is live in downtown Sacramento with details on demolition and when they plan to start building. And here we go, I guess, huh, Steve?
And Sam, another thing that the Kings announced is that they have permission to have construction crews here 6 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. to tear down the mall and get this thing built. The Kings Arena, of course, that's going to create a gigantic construction zone and give this area a whole new look. For starters, this grand entrance to the downtown plaza between the USF building and 24-Hour Fitness will be made into a giant viewing area for the demolition. If you already work out here, you'll have a VIP view of the scene. Parking will be at a premium underneath the mall. Almost half the spots available now will be gone once demolition starts. From 3,700 down to about 2,000. Entrances at 6th and L and 6th and J will close. The new demolition details show that RT bus stops on L Street between 5th and 7th will also be moved. The new bus stops will be a block away over on Capitol Mall.
It's not that bad.
By the end of this year, the demolition will be done. In 2015, they'll start with building the new arena's steel and concrete frame. Then by the end of the year, create the glass, metal, and concrete facade. That'll give them another year to finish the interior for the arena. And if all goes as planned, this will be finished and ready to open in September of 2016. And this is a $500 million arena. Sam, they haven't said exactly what day they're going to be starting, but they have said late July, and they're going to give the public a 24 to 48 hour window before that first wrecking ball hits the downtown
Steve,
plaza.
essentially they're looking at 2 years here. That's a very aggressive time frame. It sounds like they're going to be working almost around the clock to get this thing done in the 2-year period.
That's the goal that they've set. Fortunately for them, the NBA has given them an extra year to get it done before they start talking about forcing the team to move.
All right. Well, it begins in late July. Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate that. New tonight, the Kings announced today what was expected, that forward Rudy Gay will exercise his contract option and return to the team next year. The Kings acquired Gay in December in a trade with the Toronto Raptors. The Kings also extended a qualifying offer to guard Isaiah Thomas, making him a restricted free agent. Here's what that means. He can sign an offer with any team, but the Kings can match that offer in order to keep him in Sacramento. Shannon?
All right, Sam. A gusty day around the area today, raising those fire risks as we head toward the century mark in terms of the heat. Dave, how are we looking now?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a while before we get to that century mark because the winds that which came today actually cooled our temperatures down. In fact, we had some wind gusts 30 to 35 here in the valley, 40 to 45 in the delta, and of course up in the higher elevations. That's where we had that red flag warning issued. Now, this is what's left over. We had a situation where we had a wind advisory early today. Now it's just dust flying around, so there's an air quality alert through the better part of tomorrow for the areas you see they're sort of in that grayish kind of color. And it's all courtesy of this, cloud cover working across the area. It's the leading edge of what is transitioning us to a cooler weather pattern for a couple of days. And then as Shannon had alluded to, yeah, we got some heat on the way. We did have a few light showers, a couple of sprinkles in the valley on into the foothills. It's kind of winding down right now, but we still have the potential of a little more of that a little later on tonight up in the high country. And of course, we had some thunder bumpers up in the north part of the state. And again, cooler weather came along with this because it is an overall area of cool air. And those cool temperatures, way below where you'd expect to be. We should be topping out in the 90-degree range. We hit the mid-80s for a lot of locations. So we like the cooler air, don't like the gusty winds, and we don't like triple digits. So we're going to lose the cool air. Yeah, you know it. Triple digits are come back. We'll have the full forecast here in a bit. Sam?
Okay, thanks very much, Dave. New tonight, tenured teachers who get in trouble for certain crimes could soon be fired. Governor Brown signed legislation today to fast-track the firing of teachers accused of sexually abusing students and for certain drug crimes. It also speeds up the appeals process. That law takes effect on January 1st.
A Georgia man is being held on a murder charge following the death of his young son.
Christina joins us now with why some say he's not to blame.
This is an interesting story here. This boy, who was just 22 months old, died after spending 7 hours in the back of his father's car while that man was at work. But the big question tonight is, was this an accident?
33-year-old Justin Ross Harris is accused of the unthinkable, murdering his 22-month-old son by leaving him strapped inside a hot SUV for 7 hours. Police say Harris and his son Cooper stopped at a fast food restaurant the morning of June 18th. He was supposed to drop the boy off at daycare, but instead went straight to work.
I'm not sure how someone could forget that they've got a child in the back seat.
Dale Hamilton was there later that afternoon when Harris pulled his car into a nearby parking lot and started screaming for help. The little boy was dead.
He was constantly saying, "What have I done? What have I done?"
But this may not be a case of a forgotten child. A new arrest warrant says Harris returned to his car at lunchtime and put something inside the car while the child was strapped in his car seat. Cobb County Police released a statement saying the chain of events in this case did not point toward simple negligence. Legal experts say the evidence supporting that would have to be very strong.
Perhaps being intoxicated, dealing with illegal narcotics, and that's what led to him forgetting about the child. You could potentially support a murder charge.
Harris is being held without bond.
Now, Harris has pleaded not guilty to a charge of second-degree child cruelty. A medical examiner's report is still awaiting toxicology reports, but the cause of the boy's death is believed to be hyperthermia. 36 people were taken to the hospital. 50 were treated inside during a concert at TD Garden in Boston tonight. Police say concertgoers were there watching a Swedish DJ performing at the Garden and say Those medical issues appear to be from alcohol and drug use. The investigation is underway tonight.
Christina, thanks. World Cup fever arriving at a perfect time for Sacramento area soccer fans as Team USA gets set to take on Germany. That match just hours away, and one thing not going away, soccer fever, thanks to the Sacramento Republic.
Noon tonight, CBS 13's Tony Lopez is live in downtown. Fans are going to be packing bars bright and early.
How does 8 a.m. strike your fancy? It's early, but that's when the doors here at De Vere's Irish Pub will open up for the big game, USA and Germany. Now, we talked to a few fans tonight here, but we also talked to a couple of experts riding a wave of soccer popularity.
We've all seen the frenzy behind the Sacramento Republic Football Club, with thousands of fans jumping on board and holding on for the team's high-spirited inaugural ride. The man conducting this football freight train couldn't be happier.
And the people of Sacramento have supported us unequivocally, very well indeed.
Graham Smith is the general manager of Sacramento Republic FC, and what he sees lately on the giant soccer stage is the World Cup runneth over into an already energized local fan base.
The World Cup is it's a pageant. It's a cornucopia of colors and sounds and all the fans coming together.
Just as he's witnessed with his club, as long-starving local soccer fans get their fill and new supporters get a taste of why it's the most popular sport in the world. Top striker for the Republic FC, Tommy Stewart, with 5 goals on the season so far, says the fans have scored with him.
The fans are coming out in force and supporting us, and we're trying to give as much back as they are to us.
But what about Team USA's chances of advancing into the so-called knockout round?
To be honest, I think now that they're going to get through, I think Portugal and Ghana will cancel each other out.
If they go out believing that they can win and giving it a go, be steady, as Tommy says. Don't go crazy. Don't try and get an early goal. They've got a chance. The longer it goes on, the more they will believe in themselves.
So pretty straightforward, pretty simple. USA wins or ties tomorrow, and they advance to soccer's equivalent of the Sweet 16. Plenty of people here are having sweet dreams tonight, thinking about that possibility.
Bright and early tomorrow morning. All right, Tony. Thanks very much. Live in downtown Sacramento.